Alright, what's up, what's up? This is going to be sort of like a part 2 of my last video, but I'm going to dig a bit deeper. Seeing as we are all everything, at all times, that meaning anything that is naturally human, we are also predators and cannibals at all times. Always. This is why I want to mention what happened to me last year. When I was in the intensive care, I talked about this in the video, sun gazing warning. When I was really starved and then I started eating again, I wanted flesh so much that I actually wanted human flesh, and there's a reason for this. And I've been researching this whole thing for over a year now because of this experience. And I also saw people sun gazing, visions of it, and having organs in their hands and eating them and such. And this just really got stuck in my head. I still totally see it. So it's really quite interesting because dreams and such we usually forget, but it wasn't a dream. It wasn't a dream because I wasn't sleeping at the time. So the reason I mentioned this is because I was quite mad at these doctors there because they were giving me this carbohydrate shit, and there's a lot of stuff going wrong there, and that's why I actually wanted to just bite one of them and eat them. And looking back at this, it doesn't seem weird at all, but actually generally now, since I've been eating raw meat, I don't find it weird in any way at all. It's actually really quite natural, because you hear a lot of stories about people being trapped somewhere and then actually starting to eat other people and such, but this is simply, this isn't only a starvation thing. It's actually been repressed because most people will agree that it's something it's something people don't even want to talk about, cannibalism and such, and it's very just get away from me, something like that. So there's a reason for this, why it's been so suppressed. But what I want to mention first is also about how we grow up and having no relation to killing, no sensing. We don't sense what we eat, we don't sense the death. You understand what I mean? Because we buy stuff in a shop even though we should be killing the animals ourselves. And there's actually, I'll link you to some pictures, check them out in the description. There's these kids in north of Norway, in Lapland, these Sami kids who were watching, they were interested, kindergarten kids, in skinning of reindeers and such, and they were not afraid of it at all. Of course they wouldn't be. Only the kids who get brainwashed and grow up, they are like that. And it's of course the reason why we get vegetarians and such nowadays, with these low testosterone levels and just sort of the opposite of men and women, because both men and women have deficiencies, of course. It doesn't matter. So not understanding where the meat comes from and such is a huge problem actually, and of course it shouldn't be like that. And children, ow, fuck, what the fuck? Was it some sign that I shouldn't be talking about this? Fuck it. So children in general are not as vulnerable as we make them out to be, because kids are very open to everything. And that also reminds me how I used to sunbathe nude in this one spot, and people didn't like it because they said kids also come here, as if kids would mind nudity. Kids are the last ones who will mind it. It's all the people who grow up and get manipulated and socialized who are like that. Now, if you're wondering, what is this guy saying? He's not against cannibalism. What? What else is he open to? Why is he so open? If you don't understand this, then you're not getting the point of these videos at all. Being against something, especially if it's natural, is just a sign of unhappiness, and it's the same as looking for change. So the Illuminati are happy people raping and eating children and babies, and there's no way for me to exactly make you understand this, because if you're unhappy and you're not connected to your soul, you will not realize what is important, so to speak, and what the physical importance is and how the soul perceives the world. So this is just something you will have to go through yourself, and to some people it may be surprising what I'm going to say, but to some probably isn't, because it's sort of obvious what's going on in the world. Even here in Germany in the 90s, very openly, it was sort of just put out there that all the judges and such are involved in these pedophile rings, and they rape children and such, and children being abducted everywhere. In Belgium, we've heard all the cases, just these secret societies and such, and Thailand and everywhere. Really, it's everywhere. And the only thing that people really ever talk about is children being raped and sexually assaulted. It's all about sexuality, usually, and of course eating is also related, sexually true, but nobody actually speaks out about the so-called cannibalism and children being eaten. But all the research which I've done since I've gotten out of the hospital completely tells me that the Illuminati's diet consists of baby and children organs. And if you look into organ harvesting of children, and again reports thousands of refugee children just disappearing and everything, it really will make sense, especially also if you understand human diet, which they do. They've been around forever and teaching the next generations of how to live and how to live long and healthy, and the secrets of humanity of this planet and everything. Of course they understand this, because I talk about in these last few videos about eating animals and such, and especially organs. If you have a problem with your organ, I don't talk about it. I've mentioned it twice in the past videos about eating other humans, but sort of as a joke, even though it wasn't, but that's how I put it, because I realize that people aren't open about talking about this. But of course they eat, if they have a problem with their heart, which they probably wouldn't, except when they're over 100 something, they would of course still then start eating the organs of the children, because no animal is ever going to compare to another human's organs. So what do you think is going to happen to your cells and the regeneration if you eat a baby's or a young human's heart? Of course it's going to regenerate rapidly, and of course it's the best food for the human. And before you get all close-minded about this, just look into all the tribes, look into people dying and then other people eating them as I forgot the word, as a sign of as respect, let's just say that, to the one that died, and also nourishment, getting nourishment from the body and thanking the body. Also people of course used to thank the animals they ate, and there's just so much to this. It all really makes sense. It's going to click if you really think and research this and look at this from your soul's perspective, so to speak, and not just what we've been taught and brainwashed with Yeah.